Scooterheads. I'm Thurston Howell III. Check that. Dagwood Streets, your host of the Electric Scooter Podcast. And it seemed that last week's Roundtable was successful. So I think we're going to continue it. What do I mean by successful? Well, in the United States, we gained 107 listeners over the previous week. And in the United Arab Emirates, we gained 13 listeners, but we lost 10 in both Australia and Canada. That's not combined. I mean, there was 20 total, 10 in Canada and 10 in Australia. What's that all about? Anyway, it was fun, so we're going to continue with the roundtable. If I would have got a bunch of protests, that is terrible, stop it, then that would be the end of it. First, let's hear a little commercial for Ginger on Wheels' new product, the PEV Firelight. Brought to you by Ginger on Wheels. You gotta have it. You gotta get it. PEVFirelight.com. Do it. Just do it. Firelight, fire bright, first star I see tonight. Should I mention what the product is? Well, if you ride your scooter at night, you're going to want the PEV Firelight because it's a banging deal. Look and compare the specs to other lights similar to this or not even as good that are over $100. Check out Ginger's product for around $75. I think you got a couple options. Madonna, Starlight, Firelight, PEV Firelight, first handlebar light I see tonight. I just watched on Roku. Did you know that Roku has its own channel? You know, people watch different TV shows over the internet with something called Roku, which means 6 in Japanese. Each ni san shi. Yeah, go Roku. PEV Firelight, Firelight. First handlebar I see tonight. PEV Firelight, Firelight. Make all my scooting feel alright. The PEV Firelight at PEVFirelight.com. Endorsed by Madonna. It might not be the Madonna you're thinking of, but it's endorsed by Madonna. They can't sue me for that, can they? PEV Firelight, Firelight, PEVFirelight.com. I prefer Roku over the Amazon Fire Stick, over the Chrome Stick or whatever that one is. All the different ones. I like Roku the best. They have their own channel. And Weird Al Yankovic created I'm laughing just thinking about it, a Rock You Mock You documentary. It's not like Spinal Tap, but he, let's say, embellished a little bit about the things that happened to him throughout his life and career. And it's so funny. And the antagonist, I think, right? The bad person, that the good guy is Al. He's the protagonist. So I think the bad guy is the antagonist, is Madonna. So I don't know why. When I saw PEV Firelight, it made me think of that and laugh. It's the Scooter Roundtable. We do what we're able. It's really just a bunch of dudes, though. Scooter Roundtable. It's not rocket surgery. Or is it? Believe it or not, I once knew a guy who was a rocket surgeon. Well, he was like a surgeon. Come on, get off of the Madonna thing, Dagwood. If you remember where we last left you, we were speaking to Eli, LAFD, Los Angeles Fire Department, Cody, paramedic in the same city of Los Angeles, California, and CEO of a construction company, Normando the Commando. Hey, that's what he wants to be called. If you listen to last episode, you heard it. Call me Normando the Commando. He's an off-road guy who is not big into scooters. Anyway, I just wanted to remind you that's who we were talking to last time, and we're going to pick up the conversation here in a moment where we left off. The Scooter Roundtable. I only picked We Do What We're Able just because it rhymes. Cody, you sent me a scooter video recently. It was great.
Oh, the London to Paris.
Yeah. Zero to Epic went from Maine to Oregon. He crossed the entire United States, and there's a couple other scooter guys that did something similar. So I was like, yeah. But that was an engaging video.
I actually kind of didn't like the video, even though I said
Really?
it too. I found the title interesting, and the guy did a really good job at filming it. He did a really good job at editing the video and everything, but the idea of riding a scooter from London to Paris, I mean, he had to take the ferry.
Right.
And I'm like, I feel like that's kind of cheating. And what else? I mean, I don't know. It didn't seem like the most efficient way. I think he just did it to say he did it, but then didn't he take a couple days to do it?
Well, that's what I loved about it was
London to Paris, though?
London to Paris,
London
yeah.
to Paris
it's
on
only,
a scooter.
It's not even that. How many miles between the...
I think he said it was 250.
250 miles from England to...
That's what he said.
To Paris.
You think it's that big, that area? Maybe it is.
I thought it would be more than
I thought it was like an
250.
overnighter or something.
I thought it was more like 300 or 400, but I don't know. But what you didn't like about it is precisely what I did like about it. I liked that he didn't have a whole team of people and a crew and all his backup plans and all this stuff. It was just like you or me going, hey, man, let's get on the scooters and go from Las Vegas to L.A. or whatever, and you just kind of get on and go. He was running into problems. You could see there was going to be problems because he didn't have, he strapped on a generator that when his plan was when he went to sleep at night, he's going to run the generator at night to fill up his
he could have did that on a manual bicycle and not had to worry about charging it and all that stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot and that's what I liked about it. And getting rained on and meeting some dude that says, hey, don't sleep out here. I'll just give you a room to crash. Just the kind of everyday things you run into when you're traveling, meeting people. And he was miserable and his scooter broke down and everything. I really enjoyed that video.
He didn't say how he got back. I'm sure he flew home.
Yeah, or took a train or something. Yeah, scooter was probably toast.
He had a flat tire. Yeah, it seemed like he was probably done.
Yeah, he didn't have, even motorcyclists, they bring inner tubes and spare tires and stuff when they're going on long trips.
Sounds like he didn't think it through all the way.
And that's what made it interesting to me.
Okay. Spur of the moment.
When Zero to Epic did it, he had a guy arranged that had a van, and he had like, I don't want to get this wrong, but he had, like, let's say 10 scooters, that he could trade out, and then at night recharge them. And, he had the right gear and everything. This guy just seemed like, hey, I think I'll jump on a scooter and I'll do it next week and film myself. And that's, to me, what was compelling about it.
I just don't think it's meant for that distance. Like, I know a guy who rode a recumbent bicycle, where you like lay back kind of, but it was a manual bicycle. You still pedal.
Yeah, what's the point of those?
I guess you're pedaling in the direction you're traveling, and it's supposed to be more efficient
They're
they're
for
less.
nerdy engineers because they're probably the only guys who ever buy them.
Yeah.
Well, I have heard
Somebody with
have
a
you
back
heard this
problem.
that it is like the smartest. You use the less energy to go the most distance and do less damage on your body. That's not true. That I heard that somewhere.
That's what I heard also. But I mean, this guy
They
was
look comfortable doing it. But
he was in
Yeah,
his 60s.
you're literally laying
yeah,
down.
yeah.
There's a lot. They're a lot heavier than normal, and you're just when you're on a bicycle, if you see a bump, you can kind of lift yourself off the seat and make your legs suspension. When you're on a recumbent, your whole body is just sitting on your cheeks, and you're going to hit all that with your thing. So I don't really think it's
But aren't you
any
sitting
better
on
for your
like
spine.
canvas or something that's suspended by a pole or something? Isn't it
I,
good? I don't think you're bouncing on your spine.
I ride from I've been riding from Redondo Beach to Santa Monica and back. It's a 30-mile ride, and I do that sometimes twice a weekend. And I've seen those recumbent bikes out there a lot. And number one, there's a lot more metal on those to make that thing work. They don't look they don't look like they particularly handle. You don't look. When you're on a bike, you're standing over your pedals. So if you really want to accelerate, you can. But if you're on a recumbent, you're now sitting something like this, and you're just pushing against a chair, and it's not.
Well, my impression is it's for flat surfaces going a long distance. It's not for. I don't think it's for hills of San Francisco.
Well,
or
As I said, I
That's
think
what
it's
he did.
for the nerd type.
He rode from Southern California to Michigan 4 times,
Wow.
and I think he did it in his 60s. Rest in peace, Sid Hale.
On a recumbent bike?
Recumbent bike. He did 4 different trips. He took different routes too. He did all the way north, I think, to the Canadian border, and then went east.
What did you say? Rest in peace?
Yeah, he died.
Passed away.
Oh, well, his name is Sid Hale.
Sid Hale, yeah.
So if somebody wants to see that video, do you remember the name
He
of it?
didn't do a video.
Oh, he just did. Oh.
He was 60
from,
when he died?
church, but
Somebody you personally know.
yeah.
Oh,
But
wow.
you really only see old people on recumbent bikes. I haven't seen a youngster.
But that's not cause and effect. That doesn't mean if you're 12 and you jump on a recumbent bike, you're gonna. By the time you come home, you're like a 45-year-old man. or
No,
anything.
but
it's just that those are the guys that tend to buy them.
It also tells you something, too, when you never see a young person on one.
That's,
I guess.
as you're older, you get
Well,
wiser. So.
maybe they're not fun.
Oh,
Maybe
right.
they're heavy.
I think
Maybe they don't handle. Maybe a lot of things.
I think they're for traveling. Great.
Yeah.
But that's a good. I maybe now I'll do some research and start watching some videos or learning a little bit more about it.
It's funny you say nerd type. I remember I had a science teacher in middle school, Sandburg Middle School.
Carl Sandburg.
Carl Sandbox.
I went there, too.
He rode one of those. Huge nerd. Science teacher.
So
Cul-de-sac.
my
He had a
neighbor
cul-de-sac haircut.
worked at Hughes Aircraft, engineering type, right? He had the Republican one. He couldn't ride it up the hill,
Yeah.
because you couldn't get enough torque on the to come up my hill on 43rd Street like a mountain bike. You would be able to because you could gear it way down.
I'd be worried about visibility. Don't they have something over their heads and kind of to the sides?
No, they all have that pair of glasses that have the mirror off the side, the helmet with the mirror off the side.
Really?
Like I said, the nerdy types.
They have a little visor.
Oh yeah, they're
The professional.
But isn't nerdy type a way of saying smarter than most
It is.
people?
No,
is
it
that
is.
what that
It
really
is.
means?
Yeah, no, nerdy
Well,
is not an
So
offensive.
if all the smart people are doing one thing, does that mean it's a
more
negative?
more the engineer pocket protector type of guy, So I think that those people are attracted to that stuff more.
People that repair their glasses with a Band-Aid, and they're often seen winding up a booger in their left hand.
The whole time that I've been living there for the 30-some years, there's a guy who's been in the same thing. He has a bicycle that he built himself, and it's a recumbent, but he's got a silk or lycra aerodynamic thing in front of him, and it's just this thing, and he's inside pedaling with his helmet just sticking out of the top.
So his visibility is actually
He's
fine.
got good viz, and he rides that. He's up there. But I see him all the time, and he made that bike. It's it's a recumbent bike in there, but it's he's encased himself in material.
Yeah, is that for aerodynamic, or is that for the rain, or is that for the wind?
Just
or
for aerodynamics, and he rides down there and he hustles that thing all the time. But I pass him sometimes, so
on your one wheel.
when we all.
You pass him.
on my
your bicycle.
on my 52-pound 1961 Schwinn.
Not something a nerdy type would ride.
It's an old beach cruiser.
Yeah. But I would think because you're not trying to go a long distance without taking a toll on your body. You're doing it for exercise.
Yeah. So is that guy.
Was
though.
it 1 gear or 2 gears?
I have 2 gears,
2 gears.
high and low. The ratios you can change with the sprockets.
I'd rather ride an electric scooter than a beach cruiser. I hate beach cruisers.
Yeah.
Even along the beach.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know.
Mine is an old Schwinn bicycle balloon tire bike with big balloon tires, but mine's not set up where you have these big handlebars. I have smaller bars and a front brake and stuff, and we got those geared because on the Strand, if you're riding a mountain bike or a road bike out there, you're now the problem because you're going much faster than the average people out there, and you have to go between all these people. And a lot of people have children out there, and they're on their little bikes. Maybe sometimes they have trainers on.
You come whizzing
and
by.
you go whizzing by. So we're geared down that we're somewhere between maybe 16 to 11 miles an hour, where it's more manageable if you you can slow down a time most of the time. But you can get a good cadence going so that you're moving and you have some resistance on your leg. And you're carrying a heavy bike with you.
No
so you
more
can
of
get
them
exercise.
damn scooters in the way, I guess. That's the advantage. That's a good thing
No, they
for
took
you.
them
right?
off.
Yeah, they just got rid of them. Kind of
Yeah.
crazy. One day they just disappeared.
But it's
It was great. It was great because they were, 2 people on them, and they would never look, and like they just didn't have any presence down there. Because they were down there, they got the scooter, and they.
I would assume it's any scooter, not just
Yeah,
rental.
I didn't
They
know if
say
it was
no
only
scooters,
rental
yeah.
scooters.
I
or
think
not, but-
people who have scooters are a little more aware of their surroundings and riding around
Yeah.
and the etiquette around the beach and.
But they're
giving
still
people
not
space.
allowed on the Strand
No.
anymore.
No.
Dude, no.
Yeah, I've yet to see one. I lived there like 2 years ago, and yeah, just you don't see them anymore.
Okay, I want to ask Cody another question because Eli, you are LAFD, Los Angeles Fire Department, and Cody, you are a paramedic. Have you ever scraped a scooter head off of the asphalt?
None. But like I said, there's no scooters where I work really, so.
So you have never seen a horrific scooter accident. That's good.
Somebody's foot pointing in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
They've got to they got to fix.
Okay. Does anybody have any parting words about scooters or anything in general?
I have a question. It's real simple. What is everyone's stance when they ride a scooter? Is it different from your stance when you skateboard?
I'm goofy foot, so I'm still the same.
I'm
You're
goofy also.
same all across.
Yeah. Surfboards, skateboards,
Yeah.
and scooters, all the same.
Huh.
It's a good question, though, because there's kind of a controversy in the scooter world about whether to put your feet side by side facing forward. They now manufacture scooters that are specifically for that. There's no deck. It's like a pipe where the deck would be, and then left and right you have footboards. Tor, T-A-U-R, specifically one company, but there are others that do that as well. And the reason I personally am against it is like the lever fulcrum kind of principle, to where if you stop fast, if you're not 1 foot in front of the other, then you can't stop your balance from pitching forward. So, and same thing when you're taking off, I'm sure they don't accidentally pop wheelies. They don't go fast enough, But I totally am against riding parallel.
Yeah,
with
that
your
that
feet.
doesn't seem natural.
It doesn't. But a lot of people do that even on regular scooters. They look for a wide deck because they want to put their foot left and right. But you really need to go. The difference, what Norm brought up, goofy foot and what we call regular foot. If you're regular foot, you're a right-handed person, your left foot goes forward. But Norm and I are both right-handed people who put our right foot forward. And whether you're surfing, I know the term from surfing. That's just called goofy foot. And when you're surfing, people tend to categorize you that you're good at going left off the wave rather than right. So you look for left brakes. But for me, I found I can go backside, no problem. So I can go equally, maybe slight advantage going left, but certainly no issue going right with me being goofy foot. Cody, you got anything?
I ride regular. I was gonna say, I think a lot of people are used to that because of skateboards and snowboarding and those sort of things. The stance, but I have put my feet side by side. I wonder if a skier, someone who's skied all the time, would be like, oh, I feel comfortable that way because I ski like that.
Wow, I never thought about that. How do snowboarders do it?
I ride regular snowboard.
Snowboarders be like a skateboarder. They're either going to be like us, they're going to be goofy or not.
Regular or goofy, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I never thought about that.
I wouldn't think skiing would you'd have to now. I think it's just too different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a completely different thing.
As soon as you get on there, especially if you're going to want.
I could kind of see, though, if you're comfortable going like this at speed, left and right.
I could see it if you don't have many sporting skills at all,
Yeah,
and you've not been
exactly.
doing any type of active.
If you only ski and
That's what I meant.
and then ride a scooter, maybe.
That's what I meant. Is if someone never skateboarded, never snowboarded, only
So
skied.
like a yuppie that skis.
Oh, skateboarding would be impossible left foot to right.
I would love to see someone do that.
Oh, they would eat it so fast. But that's a good idea, to explain to people, maybe say, imagine being on a skateboard with your left and right foot parallel to each other. How unwieldy that would be.
I will make this admission. It's another crazy admission. I told you the one about New Orleans, but I also was a very avid rollerblader too.
Did you wear the short shorts while you're rollerblading?
On the Strand?
And listen to "I Will Survive" in your headphones?
No, but I rode those for 2 years.
Baby oil?
Well, it was the thing to do, though, at the time, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I was riding from Redondo Beach. I was riding 30 miles back and forth. I was riding up to Santa Monica Pier and back on my rollerblades. I went like all the time. And then so back to the skiing style, I could do slalom. You know what I mean? You could do the slalom thing. But I would never, if I got onto a skateboard again, I wouldn't think that I'd have to stand like that or on a scooter, even though you could tuck and get your feet next to each other if you're going to start going down a hill somewhere and you wanted to get prepared for any type of terrain you might want to stiffen up for. So
you stiffen up for terrain?
Would. Something's going to come up that I got to get over. I'm not going to go over it loosey-goosey. I'm going to be prepared.
See, I would actually loosen up to go over something.
Well, maybe I'm not explaining enough. I don't go stiff, but I'm going to get prepared I'm going to brace and get a little.
You're not soft either, though.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Not loosey-goosey. I'm going to be prepared to handle it. You're going to go off a jump.
All right.
Or you're just going to. I'm just going to. You're not going to just lay back.
It's like we said about alcohol earlier. If you have alcohol in you, when you crash, you might get slightly less injured, but you're more likely to crash.
Depends on how much. I mean, if you've been drinking from 9 a.m. till 6 a.m.,
exactly,
maybe you're going to be a little too relaxed.
Yeah.
But if you only had a couple of barley pops, you're probably all right.
So one more thing I want to hear from you, Norm. Again, I don't know if I'll do an episode completely dedicated to this, but I've always been interested in doing this, and I've always told scooter heads that listen to the podcast, the Podians, that scooters are not for everyone. And you're a perfect example of someone who four-wheel drives, motorcycles, skateboards. You didn't mention anything about in the water, if you don't water skiing or any of that kind of stuff. But you're a little bit, when I say intimidated, I don't mean you're like a scared little Girl Scout. I mean, you're just, you have a healthy respect for the possibility of getting hurt. So I want you to tell people in your own words why they should not ride scooters and who should not ride scooters.
That's a lot. But all I'm saying, for me, I need to be in order for me to have fun on one of those, I'm going to have to ride find my limits everywhere. And I think on the way to finding those limits, I'd get hurt a bunch of times because I think that those things don't stop fast enough for me. And I don't like the position I'm in whenever I have to dynamite the brakes or want to dynamite the brakes, or if I'm going to hit a pothole or can't go.
How about a controlled environment like a park and there's no one else there? That there's really
You could still fall
ideal.
and crash, or the wheel's going to wash out. They're not big and grippy enough, I don't think. That's the feeling I got. And then I watched a ton of YouTubes where other people went through the pain, and I just got to watch.
I have a great video where I'm riding my fluid free ride Horizon at a great controlled environment park, and the ground transitions from cement to AstroTurf. Grass, I think I would have been fine, but that AstroTurf was just too slippery, and I ate it pretty hard. So I know I landed in AstroTurf. I didn't get hurt, but it looked good on video, especially in the slow-mo. I got up smiling. I was happy. But it was a park. We did a video once, Cody, when was it Ryder?
Yeah, it was Ryder.
Yeah, and at that same park, I ate it there. Maybe that would be a place for you to start out, but you got to be willing to, and you just don't enjoy it. So
I think that I would probably enjoy it if they made a bespoke scooter track.
Oh,
where sort of like a bobsled track where you could get up the side a little bit on the scooter, but it might be safe, and if you fall, you just kind of slide down, and you had somewhere like that. But I don't
at that same park, do you remember there's that little dirt trail where it's slow speed maneuvering, getting around? That's kind of fun. That takes a lot of
somewhere like that where they've set it up to where it's like you're sort of in the right speed and things like that, where you could actually have some fun. And maybe
for me, every city park, Monday through Friday, is my bespoke scooter.
It's not that exciting.
For me it is. It depends. But in Las Vegas anyway, probably in other major cities, I'm sure too. If you go to some of the big, giant, great parks we have parks you've seen with duck ponds and bridges and partial off-road and partial gravelly trails and transition to grass and cement and sidewalk and all that. It's when there's nobody out there, it's just a lot of fun to feel the wind in your face and get outside of the house and maneuver around. To me, I always liken it to standing on the hood of a car. Like if you're driving a car at 20 miles an hour, there's no adrenaline or anything, but let someone else drive that car and you get up on the hood at 20 miles an hour. Something about the feeling of standing up, whether it's a skateboard or a surfboard, but something, not a motorcycle, but the feeling of standing up as opposed to sitting down while you're at speed. I think that's what I'm kind of addicted to, what I like so much.
Out in the desert, you stand on your bike when you're going like 50 and
True.
60.
That's true. Yeah. So. Yeah. Okay, unless anybody has anything else they want to talk up or bring up, then we're going to bring this podcast to a close. So thank you for listening. This has been the Electric Scooter Roundtable. I dub this the Electric Scooter Roundtable. And we'll convene again at this same location at an undisclosed time in the future. Thank you, Eli.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Cody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Norm.
Normando.
Commando Normando. Aloha. Well, scooter heads, seems like that's about a wrap. Until next time, keep the shiny side up and the dirty side down. Doodle-ladle, doodle-doodle, doodle-ladle. I wear a helmet to protect my melon. We Audi 2000. But stay tuned next week. I think you're gonna love it.
cats and boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats.
Yeah, this song, even though it's kind of electronica, it has guitars. A Les Paul Gothic, to be specific. What color? Well, it's black. Why not let the song play out? You're drifting off to sleep anyway, probably listening to this podcast, right? Who are we kidding? That's some good drums right there, bud.
Amigos de Schoolers, this is Carl McClarty of McClarty Films, and you are listening to the one and only The Electric Scooter Podcast.